I'm sure you've noticed that there's been a lot of conversations and media attention on the coronavirus in the last couple of weeks. And the more we hear about it, it can actually lead us to experience heightened levels of anxiety and stress, either about catching the virus itself or the impact that the spread of the virus is going to have on our lives. Now, I want you to remember that the more that you expose yourself to this information, the more worried that you get, it's actually going to reduce your immunity, and the more stress you have, you're actually going to make your body weaker. So I've put together 3 useful techniques to help reduce your anxiety and stress about the coronavirus. The first piece of advice is think about the actual risk that you face. Ask yourself this question: what am I actually afraid of? The vast majority of people who get the virus are recovering and are fine, but most of the media attention seems to be on the bad news. It seems to focus only on the negative, and they don't actually talk about the vast majority of people who are recovering from this virus. Think about, how many people do I actually know who have the virus? I'm sure that there's a lot of conversations happening around the closing of schools and businesses and offices, and when we hear these things, it can feel like the virus is right at our doorstep. But an important point to recognize is that all of these measures that are being taken are actually going to reduce your chance of ever seeing the virus. When all of these schools and businesses start closing, it's actually to protect you and make you more safe. And if you are worried about the impact of your businesses, offices, and schools closing, then talk to your friends and families and think about practical steps that you can take to feel a little bit more prepared. The second piece of advice is to use breathing techniques to calm your mind down. If you've ever noticed when you're panicked or stressed, we have shallow breath and we increase the pace of our breathing. Well, the opposite is also true. If you slow your breathing down, you actually slow the pace of your thoughts down as well. So if you're starting to feel overwhelmed or anxious, take a few moments to stop what you're doing, close your eyes, and bring your attention to your breathing. Slow your breath down and try to remember what it feels like to feel calm, to feel tranquil and peaceful. And if you find your mind is beginning to wander again and start to get nervous again, just bring your awareness back to your breath and really slow the pace of your breathing down for just a few moments. My final piece of advice is to be careful about over-consuming the news. Be aware that when we're constantly reading articles or having conversations about the virus, it can only create more fears and increase your anxiety and worries that the virus is everywhere and all around you. Also be aware that there's a lot of misinformation on social media sites. So try to avoid getting overwhelmed with too much information and stick to only following official guidelines about staying healthy and protecting yourself in the best ways possible. So here are my 3 useful techniques to help reduce your anxiety about the coronavirus. Think about the actual risk you face, use breathing techniques to calm the mind, and be careful about over-consuming the news and misinformation. If you'd like more information and help to reduce your anxiety, take a look at some of the Nanak Naam guided meditation videos on our YouTube channel.